internet and happy Saturday. Welcome to my Spotlight On series. I was struggling on video ideas and I thought, why the hell not add / talk about things that really interest me. So today is the first episode of Spotlight On, and the spotlight is on musicals. Basically, I'm going to be answering a load of my own personal questions about musicals, like which ones I love, which composers' musicals I love the most, my dream roles, and just other stuff regarding musicals. So I hope you enjoy it. My Spotlight On series hopefully will span a few videos. I might talk about music, I might talk about movies, maybe do a specific genre of movies. We shall see. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into the video. So I should probably kick things off with the first musical that I ever saw. That's the first thing on my list. And the first musical I ever saw was The Lion King in the West End. It was so incredible, and for my little 8-year-old, 9-year-old mind, seeing all of the animals and just everything come to life on stage was like mind-blowing. So that was the first ever musical I ever saw, and I will never forget going and seeing that because it was absolutely incredible. The first musical I was in was Annie, when I was maybe 6 or 7, and I played Sandy the dog. My mum made a leotard. Well, no, she bought a leotard and like put a load of wool on it, and I had a mask. One of the wonderful accolades of my acting career. So my favourite Golden Age musical, Golden Age as in turn of the century, old style musical basically. I've only seen this on film, but I still absolutely adore it, and that is Calamity Jane. It's with Doris Day and Howard Keel. I can't really express how much I love that musical. I kind of grew up with it. My mum always used to put it on a Sunday afternoon, and we would sit and watch it, and I would memorise the songs and run around singing them, and I just absolutely love Calamity Jane. I absolutely love Calamity Jane. I will always love Calamity Jane. My favourite movie musical. Movie musicals, I think, get a lot of hate or unnecessary judgment. They are what they are. You're not going into the cinema to watch a full staged performance. You're in there to watch the film adaptation of this musical. I have a love of movie musicals. I absolutely adore them. Yeah, I'm going to mention a few later on. But my favourite movie musical has to be Fiddler on the Roof. Has to be, because I absolutely adore it. I think it's such a beautiful story, and it's unfortunately still relevant now, and I absolutely adore it. The songs in it, the actual music of it is just absolutely gorgeous, and I recommend you listen to it. Whatever recording you can find on Spotify or whatever, I recommend that you listen to it. My favourite musical that I've seen on the West End has to be Les Mis, because it's just epic and beautiful and heartbreaking and just incredible. I want to see the new production in the West End, because obviously the Queen's Theatre has been changed to the Sondheim Theatre. The name has changed, and whilst there's a whole company doing a concert version whilst the Sondheim gets refurbished, they're bringing a new production to the Sondheim, and I really want to see it, because I haven't seen Les Mis in the theatre for a good few years now. I've seen it twice, but I am desperate to see it again, and I'd quite like to see if the staging has changed. Then I'd be interested to see how that works from my own course perspective. I would just be interested to see how that would work. Favourite musical I have ever been in has to be Oliver. I made so many amazing memories doing that show, and I think I built up a lot more confidence in myself as well, because that was, you know, as my A-levels were ending, my confidence was like at an all-time low, and I think that really helped. The musical that I most want to see next is Six. I saw them at West End Live, and I've watched the recordings of those performances and other performances so many times that I'm now desperate to go and see Six. Like really desperate, up to the point that I would stand outside the theatre waiting for someone with a spare ticket, and I'll go in on my own happily. I really want to go and see it. So Broadway musical that I most want to see, I'm not sure if this is still running. I think it is, but ending soon. I'm not 100% sure, but that is Frozen. I really want to see Frozen, but Frozen is coming to the UK, which I'm very happy about. So I hopefully will be going and seeing that at some point next year. Hopefully. I really, really want to go and see Frozen. I absolutely love Frozen. I know a lot of people don't, but I love it. So the next load of favourites, I guess, is different musical composers. So the first one is my favourite Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. That has to be Phantom of the Opera. It has to be. We sat and watched the 25th anniversary concert version last night. No, Friday night. No, that was last night. Thursday night we sat and watched it. It blows my mind every single time. I cry every single time I watch it. I think it's just such a powerful performance. And I say this every single time. If I could go back in time to see anything, it would be that. 100% it would be that. So my favourite Claude Michael Schoenberg musical, I think that's how you pronounce the name. I hope, is Miss Saigon. Miss Saigon is the most real, I think, musical is the best way to kind of describe that. It's the story of this girl who falls in love and does everything she can to get back to the person that she loves, but, you know, is faced by betrayal, is faced by war, faced by everything, and I love it. There's also an anniversary recording of that in the proper theatre and everything. Again, like Phantom 25th anniversary, anytime I watch Miss Saigon, I cry. And it's kind of a ritual that I will sit there with a tub of Ben and Jerry's and watch that, because I watch it very, very rarely when I need to be like really in the mood to watch Miss Saigon. But yeah, watching Miss Saigon is usually accompanied by ice cream of some sort. My favourite Stephen Schwartz musical, this one's kind of an obvious one, but Wicked. I relate so much to Wicked. Yeah, I think that's the best way to kind of describe how I feel about Wicked. I took my friend Harriet to see Wicked last year for her birthday, or the year before. It could have been the year before. Oh gosh, I hope it wasn't 2 years ago. This isn't good that I don't actually know. I think it must have been last year. But anyway, we went and saw it, and we were in the stalls, and we weren't that far from like right at the front. And the first time I'd seen Wicked, I was like 10 or 11, and I didn't really understand how much meaning, I guess, comes from that musical, and going on seeing it again just kind of enhanced my love of it and enhanced the meaning and everything. I absolutely adore that musical so much. So much. My favourite Stephen Sondheim musical has to be Into the Woods. I think the music's incredible, I think the story's incredible. Everything about it. The whole sort of like idea behind it of these characters all intertwining together in their stories. I just think it's such a clever musical. I think it's so clever. And yeah, I absolutely love Into the Woods. I did a whole project on it last year. Reimagining like set and costume of Into the Woods. It was like a dream project. And my favourite Rodgers and Hammerstein musical has to be The Sound of Music. I adore The Sound of Music. I watch it every Christmas, every Easter. If I haven't seen it, then something's wrong. I love Julie Andrews. I think she's an incredible person, and I just love her in that film so much. So much. And yeah, it's a really lovely musical, and I will never go a year without watching it, to be quite honest. So, musical I wish I'd known about sooner. That has to be Everybody's Talking About Jamie. The message is so poignant, and the songs are so gorgeous and so upbeat as well. I think it's a very like fresh new musical, and it's just celebrating 2 years in the West End, so congratulations, Everybody's Talking About Jamie. I just love it. It's epic and it's great. It's so good. I recommend anyone to go and see it, or just listen to the soundtrack. Either's fine. So next is my favourite cast recording. I've included both original Broadway cast and original London cast. Favourite recording, it has to be Heathers. I love it. Heathers with Carrie Hope Fletcher. I know there was a lot of sort of conflict over the American version and the London version. I love the London version. We all know this. We all know that I like Carrie Hope Fletcher. So, yeah, I could listen to that. I think we did, Emma who came and saw West End Live with me, we sat up till midnight for the day that it was released, and then were up until like 1:30 in the morning just listening to the entire soundtrack. It was great. It was a really, really great evening. And yeah, I'll never forget sat on my bed just screaming at like the whole thing. So the next thing is the musical that I want to see in the West End but is no longer there. Again, that is Heathers. The fact that I couldn't see it breaks my heart a little bit. Hopefully I'll see it on tour next year. I think Emma and I are planning to go and see it whilst it's on the tour next year. So, you know, that's exciting. There'll probably be a very, very excitable vlog on that entire subject at some point when we go and see it next year. And I'm going to answer the same question but for Broadway. So this is the musical that I wanted to see on Broadway but is no longer there, / it's finished its run, whatever. And that is Anastasia. Anastasia is a film that I used to watch all the time and had kind of forgotten about over my early teenager years, and have now obviously watched it again and love it even more. And when I found out that was turning into a musical, I was like, hold up, I need to go see it. But I'm hoping that it's going to come over to the UK. I have a very, very horrible, gut-wrenching feeling that it probably won't, but I would love it to. I would love to see it. Okay, so I'm now going to talk about my dream roles. This was kind of a difficult list to pick. I think I've narrowed it down to 6. I have 6 dream roles. Gosh. Number 1 is Maria von Trapp from The Sound of Music. Speaks for itself. Epic role. I would love to play that role at some point in my life. To step into Julie Andrews' shoes and to play Maria von Trapp. I would love that. Number 2 is Eponine from Les Mis. I just think it's a beautiful character, and On My Own was one of the first songs that I properly learned to sing. Like maybe when I was about 13. Maybe when I was about 13, 14. And I was having singing coaching. They weren't necessarily lessons, but I was being coached by teachers and things like that. And yeah, On My Own was one of the first songs I properly learned how to sing. So wouldn't mind playing Eponine at some point. It would be great. Number 3 is Fantine from Les Mis. So I think either Eponine or Fantine I would be happy with. Fantine is a beautiful character. I Dreamed a Dream makes me cry every time, whether it's the film or I'm seeing it on stage. Either or. I just love it. I just love her role. Absolutely love it. Number 4, this is a very new addition to my list, and that is Veronica Sawyer from Heathers. I relate so much to her like sadistical side and the whole sort of popularity thing, I guess. Yeah, I would love to play Veronica Sawyer. I think she's such a hilarious and kind of down to earth, kind of so melodramatic it hurts kind of character, so I would be happy to play Veronica Sawyer whenever, wherever. Number 5 is Anna from Frozen. I think our personalities are quite alike, and out of Anna and Elsa, I think she's the one that I connected with a little bit more when I watched the film, or sort of understood a little bit more when I watched the film, so I would be happy to play Anna. My 6th dream role is Elphaba from Wicked. I used to be able to have the voice to do that, but since I've stopped, you know, singing properly or haven't had a proper singing lesson / singing session in a while, I obviously post covers and things, but my voice is not at where it used to be a few years ago. But Elphaba from Wicked, I used to be able to sing The Wizard and I, and absolutely adored singing it. I felt so powerful when I sang that song. Yeah, I would love to be able to sing properly again. I am working on it. Watch this space. But yes, Elphaba from Wicked is a massive dream role of mine. Last but not least, these are some honourable musical mentions that I should probably mention. These are other musicals that didn't really fit into any of the categories that I created for myself, but are musicals that I love and want to mention. So, there you go. The first one is Joseph and His Technicolor Dreamcoat. I loved that musical when I went and saw it in the summer. I think it was such a happy musical, and for the 2 hours that we were sat in the Palladium, I was just completely blown away by both the talent and the songs and just the whole story. It's such a lovely musical, and I totally recommend it. It's also coming back to the West End next year. Kind of want to go see it again. Probably won't end up going and seeing it, but really want to go and see it again. So another honourable mention that I want to add is Carousel the musical. I saw Carousel musical at the London Coliseum Theatre last year. It was definitely last year, the start of last year. That's why it feels like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, no, the start of 2017. I saw it. Yep, that's the one. And it was Katherine Jenkins as Julie Jordan, Alfie Boe as Billy Bigelow, and I almost said Gary Lineker. No, Gary Lineker was not in it. It was Nicholas Lyndhurst from Only Fools and Horses, who played Rodney in Only Fools and Horses, but he played the Starkeeper in Carousel. And we saw a preview as well, so I think it was literally the first preview, so we were the first people to go in as an audience to see it. And it was so good. Another Golden Age musical, but Oklahoma holds a very special place in my heart. My mum and I, again, it's one of those musicals that we sit and watch every Easter and Christmas. It's another Golden Age musical. I think the story's great, and the music is so sort of iconic, and if you heard some of the music of it, you would recognise it and be like, oh yeah, of course I know where that's from, or of course I recognise it, but I didn't know it was from Oklahoma. I have to mention is Singing in the Rain. I love Singing in the Rain. Again, just so iconic, and if you hear any of the songs from it, you'll know exactly where they come from. And it's another one that me and my mum sit and watch, and can sit and watch on repeat. Another musical that I can't go without mentioning is Chicago. I saw Chicago when it came to the West End last year with Cuba Gooding Jr., hello, as Billy Flynn, and I think they had Ruthie Henshall as Mama Morton. Oh, my mum said that I first saw Chicago when I was maybe 13, 14, and my mum said when it comes back to the West End we will go and see it, and it's taken 5 years, however long it was, for it to come back, and then for my mum to surprise me with tickets for Christmas. It was one of those moments where I sort of opened it and I was looking at it, I was like, what? What the hell? How? And it was coming back to the West End, and as someone who keeps so up to date with musicals, how I didn't know that was happening, I have no idea. My mum kept it very, very well hidden and very kept as a secret, so well done, Mum. And it was a really, really cool surprise to find out that we were going to see it, and we didn't even know like the big stars that were in it at that point, and when they were announced we were like, oh my god, this is going to be insane. If you hadn't guessed, I love musicals. I think that's pretty obvious. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see it as a series, then let me know. Put it in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on Monday. Bye everyone.